So the next chapter is a very small chapter. शुरू होते ही खत्म हो जाएगा. Preparation of performance reports. Now, why do we need this? Whether you are a profit-making firm, whether you are NPO, whether you are a charitable trust, things need to be reported to the concerned authority, either in terms of financial feasibility or in terms of your goal, objectives, achievement, KPI, and all that. So, in this chapter, we'll discuss why and how the performance reporting is done. See, in the last 3 chapters, we have seen different types of performance measurement parameters. So, performance measurement in case of a profit entities can have 4-stage solution. Determine the organization structure and also ensure that the structure must be appropriate and best fit. So, it's about structure. Secondly, if you know the structure, find out delegation of authority, delegation of control, and responsibility centers. Thirdly, establish performance measures, financial, non-financial both, and your benchmark standards. And finally, KPI, key performance indicators. Now, what is responsibility accounting? Responsibility accounting means each and every segregated position in the organization will be led by a manager. Like if you talk about purchasing procurement, purchase manager is responsible. If you talk about recruitment, HR manager is responsible. If you talk about your efficiency, workers are responsible. If you talk about production of finished goods, your production manager is responsible. So every function is delegated and each function is represented by or led by some manager who will be held responsible. So tomorrow when anything goes wrong, you can, if there is something wrong with the procurement pricing, you can always refer to purchase manager. If you come across something going wrong in terms of efficiency, you can talk to workers directly. If your labor efficiency variance is adverse, you can talk to them because they are the one who have actually done this. They have actually done the work, so they know the reason very well. They know they are only people. They are only one who know the reason. If you have consumed less for producing the same output, or if you have consumed more for producing the same output, your variance will be either favorable or adverse respectively. But then who will be able to tell you the reason? Not purchase manager, not HR manager, not marketing manager. It has to be the production manager who can have reason for this. So for every delegated function, for every delegated authority, there has to be some responsibility center, some person responsible for it. Clear? So what is performance report? It is basically a document which addresses the outcome of the activity or the work of an individual. It may compare actual outcomes with the budget or standard. Your actual performance, basically variance report आप कह सकते हो इसको. आप variance report इसको कह सकते हो. Why there is a difference? अगर आपको याद है स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग में तुम लोग ने इंटर लेवल पे तो नहीं किया था वो सब. You must have done that at you must have you missed that part because it is generally at final level profit variances. ओके, आपका बजटेड प्रॉफिट कुछ एक्सपेक्टेड था, एंड इट डज नॉट मैच विथ एक्चुअल प्रॉफिट, जो कुछ और ही है, जो कुछ और ही है। आपका बजटेड प्रॉफिट और कुछ था विच डज नॉट मैच विद दिस एक्चुअल प्रॉफिट, जो कुछ और ही है। तो हमको रीजन फाइंड आउट करने पड़ेंगे। अब रीजन में क्या क्या आएगा रे? योर प्रॉफिट इज एन आउटकम ऑफ टू थिंग्स। योर प्रॉफिट इज एन आउटकम ऑफ टू थिंग्स, सेल्स एंड कॉस्ट. So profit variance will also be an outcome of two things. It will be due to sales and due to cost. Due to sales and due to cost. So इसमें आएगा मार्जिन प्राइस वेरिएंस, सेलिंग प्राइस वेरिएशन डिस्कस करेंगे, मार्जिन वॉल्यूम वेरिएंस आएगा, इसमें मटेरियल वेरिएंस आएगा, मटेरियल में मटेरियल प्राइस, मटेरियल यूसेज, मटेरियल मिक्स, मटेरियल यील्ड, फिर लेबर में भी वैसे ही आएगा, वेरिएबल ओवरहेड में आएगा, फिक्स्ड ओवरहेड में आएगा। ये सारे रीजन मिलके आपको देते हैं two different profit figures. Why your budgeted profit is different from actual profit? Because of these variances. That means this is also a performance report. You are comparing something that has actually happened with something that should have been happening. So that is your performance report only. So you tell what exactly has happened, the outcome of the activity, and mention the present the comparative analysis. Present the comparative analysis. Present the comparative analysis. Comparing your actual results with your budgeted or standard results. That is performance reporting. Now, what is the role of performance report? It basically gives you complete area, complete information. It does not only give you what are the reasons, it will also let you know who are the responsible people. If there is a material price variance, we know procurement manager, purchase manager is responsible for it. If there is product material usage variance, that means consumption is either more or consumption of material is either less. That means you know that production manager is responsible for it. If there is labor time variance, we know that workers can be held responsible for rates. HR department is responsible for that. Efficiency के लिए दुनिया भर की इधर उधर की ठोकरें मत खाओ. वर्कर्स आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल. यार 100 घंटे का काम 150 घंटे में क्यों किया? तुम लोग किसी और को क्यों पूछ रहे हो? जो वर्कर ने खुद ने किया वो बता सकते हैं आपको. सो वर्कर्स आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल. सेल्स वॉल्यूम वेरिएंस जो होता है, मार्केटिंग मैनेजर इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल. तो परफॉर्मेंस रिपोर्ट डज नॉट ओनली गिव यू द वेरिएशन, इट गिव्स यू द रीजन एंड द रिस्पॉन्सिबल मैनेजर फॉर द वेरिएशन, सो दैट यू कैन गो टू द मैनेजर एंड आस्क फॉर द रीजन. Then we have aspects involved in preparation of performance report. The one is clarity. Yeah. Sorry. Have a clear idea about the need and the use case of the user receipts. It is mainly written for the senior management, but it is also used by people at the other two lower level management and executives as well. Their needs for performance report supposed to be considered before drafting the same. It should be clear enough for everyone to understand. Okay. Second one is establishment of objective in light of organizational objective. Establishment of objective in light of organizational objective. See, the critical success factor that you decide, that should be towards achieving goal of the organization, not individual growth. So if my organization's growth is profit enhancement, that means I want my actual profit to be more than my budgeted profit. That is my critical success factor, and my key performance indicator are all favorable variances and all adverse variances which have either affected my profit in a favorable manner or in an adverse manner. Are you guys understanding this? Okay, so third one is the real stuff, the performance assessment. Real stuff means it has to be based on the actual performance. It should be the actual assessment. Now, when you talk about financial data, you can evaluate sales, profit, cost, gross profit percentage, ROI, and etc. But when you talk about non-financial matters, when you talk about non-financial matters, you should be focusing on how many projects got rejected, how much is the sales, how much is the volume of sales, how much is the rise in the volume, how much is the fall in the volume. And then non-financial qualitative, if you talk about change in the reputation, effectiveness, customer satisfaction, and staff morale are the examples. That means you talk about customer, you talk about, basically you talk about stakeholders. Then there should be a proper format. And the format should be such that it can be understood by a layman. Now, when you write some quoted data, some important data, it has to be cross-checked. There should not be any mistake in that. So the proofreading is needed. Proofreading means once the project report is ready, once the performance report is ready, you must verify all the facts and figures once again as if you are preparing it for the first time. Basically, verifying the report is the most important task. Now, what are the 4 different types of performance report? This is important from MCQ perspective. Earned value report. It's about, as the name suggests, it's about earned value. Forecasting report. It's about future performance. This helps you out in utilizing resources better. Now, if I realize that my capacity is 10,000 units, my requirement is going to be 7,000 units. That means capacity to the extent of 3,000 units will be unutilized. My capacity is 10,000 units. I have planned to produce 7,000 units as per my budgeted data. That means I'm very much clear that 3,000 units will not be produced. So my performance, my production capacity will remain idle. My production capacity will remain idle to the extent of 3,000 units. Either I may think of producing some other type of product using that idle capacity, or I can rent it out if it is possible. All these decisions can be taken only if I have a forecasting report. Then progress report will talk about development as compared to the previous progress report. So अगर monthly निकालते हो तो पिछले महीने से इस महीने में ज्यादा better होना चाहिए. Annual निकालते हो तो last year से this year's performance should be better. Status report. Status report is your current scenario. Trend report is your past performance, either on last 3 years basis, last 3 quarters basis, or last 3 months basis, or last 3 weeks basis. And then variance report. Variance report will actually tell you to what extent your actual data is deviated from planned or budgeted or standard data. Now, for external reporting, we have few concepts like triple bottom line. Triple bottom line, you already know: planet, environmental, people, social. and profit, economical. Second one is Global Reporting Initiative report. Global Reporting Initiative report. It's a format which is used, which is accepted worldwide. So it gives you better sustainability standards. ESG report. ESG report is again environmental, social, and corporate governance data. And finally, integrated report. Integrated report is a holistic view of the entire organization. So it includes the strategy of the government, a strategy of the company, the governance of the company, the performance and prospects lead to the creation of value of short, medium, and long term. So basically, integrated report is combined information. It can also be called as integrated reporting. Now read this last part. Analyze of performance report to take required action. Go through this quickly. Okay, so that was your this part. Let's briefly complete MCQ part. Which one of the following statements about internal performance reporting is true? Always contain a mixture of financial and non-financial measurement. Now, as far as internal reporting is concerned, why would you be concerned about non-financial performance? Can take any form that management chooses. I think that is right. If a management, see, internal reporting is basically to fulfill need of your management. If management says, I want only revenue report, why would you talk about customer satisfaction and all bullshit? I hope you're understanding this. If you're supposed to comment on variances of cost, you can't even talk about revenue variances. Forget about talking about customer satisfaction. So it can take any form that the management chooses. बाकी दो भी पढ़ के देखना. Are required by an accounting standard to be based on balance score. क्या है बकवास? Accounting standard has got nothing to do with balance scorecard. Contain the same information as financial accounting statements. Contain the same information as financial accounting statement, but they are produced monthly rather than कोई connection ही नहीं है. Internal reporting से related एक ही चीज सच है, and that is it can take any form. Monthly चाहिए तो monthly, quarterly चाहिए तो quarterly, weekly चाहिए तो weekly, annual चाहिए तो annually. Second, since performance report also includes reporting on non-financial measures. Since performance report also includes reporting on non-financial measures, you are required to identify which of the following statements are correct about non-financial performance. Non-financial measures do not involve the calculation or recording of any numbers. That is not right. Financial numbers, financial figures you don't need, but your data related to customer satisfaction, your data related to number of deliveries reduced, all these are numbers only, no? Second, the most appropriate non-financial measures vary depending on the nature of the organization. True. Non-financial measures should correspond as far as possible with the aims of the organization, goal congruence concept. And the use of non-financial measures helps to address the deficiencies of measurements. That is right. And that is why it is 2, 3, and 4. Correct? Achha, khatam. So that was your chapter number 10. इसमें कुछ ज़्यादा आने वाला है नहीं, वो सिर्फ एक ये चीज़ अच्छे से करके रखना, because they may ask you this as MCQ. Different types of reports. Correct? Different types of reports. So guys, it's 12:20. So 2 बजे तक lecture है, तो definitely I'm not going to leave you early. I'm right away starting with the next chapter, which is important. Okay, 11 is over, no? So we'll be going for chapter number 12, which is more of a practical nature, divisional pricing, divisional transfer pricing, which requires a lot of concentration, which requires a lot of understanding. तो अगर आपको ब्रेक चाहिए तो मैं अभी दे देता हूँ, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. वैसे भी मेरे पास एक 15